Right now, reigniting history, how a local company was able to recreate an iconic neon light along State Street.
The city of Madison is asking residents to come up with the most creative name for a snowplow. Tonight at 10, here's suggestions from people around Capitol Square.
And later, after a devastating fire last October, a popular supper club in McFarland announces plans to reopen. This is News 3 now at 10. A piece of history is lighting up State Street again. The newly renovated Badger Liquor Shop sign was switched back on.
Now, that sign was reinstalled yesterday after being restored throughout the summer months. We find our Armand Rahman at the Badger Liquor Shop right now. Armand?
Yeah, guys, check it out. A piece of Madison history restored to its original glory. They had everything from the drops coming down from the bottle there to the ice cubes there at the bottom. I don't think I've ever been this excited to be outside of a liquor store in quite a long time. And one of the craftsmen that actually worked on the projects told me that the city actually had to grant them access to bring it down with cranes earlier this year to take the sign down. And then refurbishing it, well, it wasn't as easy as just flipping the switch on like they did tonight.
3, 2, 1.
And with that, Madison's happiest corner just got a bit happier.
Celebrate a rebirth of sorts of an 80-year-old sign.
Badger Liquor Shop's vintage sign is all shiny, new, and lighting up State Street again.
And this is a very iconic sign. State Street's a very important part to the city of Madison.
But literally bending the lights back into shape was not an easy or fast process.
This one came down to the wire.
For Thomas Zicker of Neon Lab.
This, as a matter of fact, is the second half of the word badger. I just got several sheets of gigantic pieces of cardboard with random pieces of neon tape to it. Most of them were broken and very, very old because the sign was very old and it had fallen into a state of disrepair.
Still, over the span of a month, he handmade the light bulbs as bright as they once were.
Number one, I take the original glass, or what I have of it, and I make patterns of that glass. And then I have to back the patterns up to the can and try to get as close as I can. It has to fit very, very precisely.
Zicker handled the lights, while Sign Art Studio out of Mount Horeb handled restoring the rest of the sign.
Replace like some of the rotted metal, all new paint job on it, and bring it up to current when it comes to electrical code as well.
It was a challenge to not only repair it, but make sure it can withstand the elements for at least 20 to 30 years.
It's had some attempts at servicing it and getting it working properly.
But all the hands involved with bringing this piece of history back to the State Street marquee say it was worth it.
The letter style, the font style, it's timeless.
And another interesting fact, they actually got an idea of the age when Sign Art Studio discovered a tag when they were refurbishing it, dating it back to the 1940s. For now, live in Madison, Armand Rahman, News 3 Now.
Very cool story, Armand. Thank you. And an update to a story from last night. Madison School District now opening an emergency enrollment center for families impacted by one city school's decision to close its programs for 9th and 10th graders.
The charter school's decision impacts about 51 students who will transfer into the Madison School District after closure on January 20th. The district had a meeting for families this morning, sharing its plan to open the emergency center. Well, let's get a look at our certified most accurate forecast now. Here's Julian Seawright.
Well, the good news is that we are looking at some clear skies for tonight. On top of it, it is still going to be rather quiet and cold, of course. But as we take a look outside here in Madison, it is a beautiful night. If you want to go check out the first full moon of 2023, the wolf moon is going to be out and alive throughout much of today, or tonight. Now, as we take a look ahead, though, temperatures are going to be into the upper teens and just stick around that way throughout much of the overnight hours until we get into our early Saturday morning, where we're going to start to see those temperatures bottom out into around 16 degrees. But temperatures around southern Wisconsin is much colder to the west than it is for the east. The east is still holding on to those 20s for dear life, but for the teens, those are going to be from us here in Dane County into the west. And Black River Falls, I'm sorry, it is 2 degrees below zero. Now, as we take a look at our temperature change, it is much colder than it was last night. We're looking at double digits throughout all of southern Wisconsin as a drop in terms of temperatures. The only ones that only saw single digits is mainly to the east, once again, from Janesville, Juneau and for our friends at Waukesha, Milwaukee. Now taking a look at tomorrow, well, temperatures will be just a tad bit below the freezing point. 31 degrees for tomorrow. It's going to be mostly sunny and it will be seasonable, and many of us will see plenty of sunshine for tomorrow, but temperatures themselves are going to be manageable for this time of year, into the lower 30s, but we're going to go ahead and plan out the rest of that weekend in just a few moments. Until then, back to you guys.
Julian, thank you. New tonight, management of the Maple Tree Supper Club in McFarland hopes to reopen the restaurant sometime in June after it suffered significant damage in a fire in October. In a Facebook post this week, restaurant management wrote that while a lot of work remains to be done, they are eager to get back to serving their customers. Medical marijuana may be closer than ever to getting approval in the state legislature. Senate Majority Leader Devin LeMahieu told the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel that Senate Republicans are close to an agreement on a bill. They're nowhere close to full legalization, but carefully regulated medical marijuana could be a possibility.
Also looking ahead, Governor Tony Evers plans to issue an executive order banning the popular social media platform TikTok from all state devices. This will happen next week. Lawmakers have expressed concerns about the platform's potential to allow the Chinese government to collect data from Americans using the app. A live look tonight from the U.S. House of Representatives. The race for Speaker is still ongoing. The 14th round of voting just wrapped up, and frontrunner Kevin McCarthy appears to have come up one vote short. McCarthy has lost 13 straight ballots, even after working around the clock to convince more than a dozen holdouts to support him. Earlier in the day, lawmakers paused to remember a dark day in U.S. history. 2 years ago, a mob of rioters staged an attack on the U.S. Capitol.
And 5 officers died as a result of those riots. 140 more officers were seriously hurt. Deborah Alfarone reports.
Members of Congress gathered to mark the second year since the U.S. Capitol insurrection.
Brian David Sicknick.
The names of 5 officers who were lost as a result of the tragic events were read, and another officer who was killed at a Capitol checkpoint.
Officer Billy Evans.
A moment of silence followed in tribute to the 140 officers who were seriously injured defending democracy.
We will never forget their sacrifice, and we will never forget this day.
We the people honor U.S. Capitol Police Officer Caroline Edwards.
At the White House, President Biden honored some of the officers there that day. He also recognized election workers who became targets of harassment and local officials who affirmed the results of the election.
We honor a remarkable group of Americans who embodied the best before, during, and after January the 6th, 2021.
There were few arrests on January 6th, but the FBI moved fast, seizing cell phone records and compiling thousands of hours of video in what may be the most documented crime in U.S. history. At least 950 people have been charged so far, nearly half of whom have either pleaded guilty or been convicted.
These people are not going to take it any longer.
Former President Trump could also face charges after an 18-month probe. The U.S. House January 6 committee referred him to the Justice Department for prosecution, alleging he incited the insurrection. Trump denies any wrongdoing and has already launched his campaign to run for president in 2024. Deborah Alfarone, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
And the estate of U.S. Capitol Police Officer Brian Sicknick, who died a day after the riots, is now suing former President Trump for wrongful death.
Around the state, a first for Milwaukee County today. Dr. Danita Ball was officially sworn in this morning to become the 66th Milwaukee County Sheriff. But that's just the start of it. She's also making history by becoming the first female sheriff in the county and the first black female sheriff in Wisconsin history. 2 UW-Milwaukee students were robbed at gunpoint outside a residence hall this week, Wednesday night. The university says a suspect approached the students, pointed a gun at them, and took their belongings. No one was hurt, but police are still looking for the suspect.
An update now. Police in Portage arrested a 15-year-old girl this afternoon following a false active shooter threat at the city's high school earlier this week. The city's police department said the girl has been referred to the Columbia County Juvenile Intake Authorities on tentative charges of making terroristic threats, swatting, and disorderly conduct. And the Buffalo Bills say safety Damar Hamlin has had his breathing tube removed and is now talking. The 24-year-old was able to talk to his family and also his teammates today. Hamlin has been hospitalized and suffering that on-field cardiac arrest following a hit during Monday night's game against the Cincinnati Bengals. And at Lambeau Field today in Green Bay, the number 3s that are on the field at the 30-yard line were outlined in blue today as a way to show support for Hamlin. It's one of several tributes happening this week all across the National Football League.
In the Packers' blowout win over the Vikings last Sunday, you may have noticed running back A.J. Dillon's touchdown celebration. In the fourth quarter, he celebrated by leading the rest of his offense as a conductor. Well, that got the attention of Glenn Hayes, the director of bands at UW-Whitewater. He thought that if Dillon is going to conduct, he'll need a baton. And this one, Hayes says, was one he used himself at Carnegie Hall.
I was hoping this would bring a smile to his face. And based on the Twitter feed, I think it probably has. But I'm glad he appreciates it. And as I said in my letter, I've used that at Carnegie Hall. I hope he gets to use it at the most famous football game in the world.
Big game ahead for the Packers this Sunday. A win, and they're in the playoffs.
The city of Madison is calling all dad joke lovers and creative pun enthusiasts.
As McKenna Alexander explains, a citywide contest is asking residents to name 4 snowplow trucks.
Plows and Puns is the name of the game this week, as the city of Madison's asking residents to come up with the most creative and funny names for city equipment. So we hit Capitol Square to find out what you would name a snowplow. What would you name a snowplow?
A snowplow name.
Do you have one?
How long did it take everyone else to come up with these?
Around the same time as you guys.
So I would call it the Pounder.
Kevin, the battering ram.
Sir doesn't plow a lot around the square. That's the best I got.
I mean, how about Ed?
It's a good name.
Yeah, I think that's a great name.
All
They
right.
should all be named Ed.
Maybe cheese scarves?
You have one?
No.
Tomorrow night is my birthday party, and we were going to do that for our party game, is think of snowplow names.
You have to make sure you submit them. You still have a week to submit.
Oh, we will submit them.
With a week left to vote, there's still plenty of time to think of your best pun. I know I am. In Madison for News 3 Plow, I'm McKenna Alexander.
You have until 4 p.m. on January 13th to submit as many name suggestions as you'd like. To do so, just email your idea to dropoff@cityofmadison.com.
Someone's got to put in Sir Plows a lot.
There you go.
I like that one. All right, still to come tonight, your full weekend forecast, plus the Home Expo returns to Madison. We'll take you there for opening day next.
To update your furniture, Menards has the furniture you need in stock. Plus, you get a free rug. That's right. Buy any upholstered living room furniture at $2.99 or more and get a free 5x7 area rug. That's $149.99 in savings. Need a new chair? How about a sectional, a new recliner, or love seat? Buy one today, get a free rug. Hurry up, get to Menards before they're gone. In-store only while supplies last.
Save big money at Menards.
Lake Ridge may be a new name, but it isn't a new bank. It's one built on over a century of community commitment. One equipped with all the knowledge and resources of 145 collective years of experience. Monona Bank and State Bank of Cross Plains are coming together as one. As Lake Ridge Bank, we're doing more together for you.
When pain says, I'm here, I say, so are they. Just one Aleve. 12 hours of uninterrupted pain relief. Aleve. Who do you take it for?
Wisconsin. It's easy to take for granted how we warm up. But what if you couldn't warm up so easily? For many, it's a reality they can't ignore. Working families, elderly, disabled, and veterans struggling to keep their heat and power on in the dangerous cold of winter. If you or someone you know needs a hand up, our energy, water, and emergency rental assistance providers are working together to keep you safe in your home. No one deserves to suffer when we can help each other.
Reynolds Wrap makes this whole cooking and cleanup thing so easy. Speeds up this so I can get to them.
Easy prep, cook, and clean with Reynolds Wrap.
On the Jennifer Hudson Show, please welcome Mario Lopez.
So good to be here.
You've interviewed me for years, and now I get to interview you.
It's sort of a trip.
And Todrick Hall.
On the next Jennifer Hudson Show at 3.
You're watching News 3 Now at 10.
Welcome back. Ram has unveiled an electric pickup truck concept with 3 rows of seats. The Ram 1500 Revolution concept truck was unveiled this week at the Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas. Its so-called third row jump seats fold out from the back wall, while the second row of seats slide forward to make space. And for those more interested in home improvements, a Design a Popular Expo is returning to Madison this weekend.
The 25th annual expo is back at the Monona Terrace Convention Center. It kicked off today and will run through Sunday. The Home Expo features exhibits and demonstrations from local and national companies designed to help consumers through the process of home improvement.
The best information you can bring is just, pictures. This is what I want, this is what I'm after, and, the goals. What the end goal is, what they're looking to invest into the project so we can help them get there.
If you want to check it out, tickets are $5 for adults, and children under 18 are free. News 3 Now is a sponsor. Peloton has agreed to pay $19 million for failing to report unsafe treadmills and distributing recalled ones. The Consumer Product Safety Commission says it is one of the largest civil penalties in its history.
Southwest Airlines says its recent service meltdown over the holidays is going to cost the airline at least $725 million. It could hit up to $825 million. In a financial filing issued today, the airline said this will cause the company to report a loss in its fourth quarter. Southwest canceled more than 16,000 flights between December 21st and 29th. The U.S. jobs market ended 2022 on a high note. According to the monthly employment report from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the U.S. economy added 223,000 jobs in December, capping off an especially strong year for job growth. In total, the economy added nearly 4.5 million jobs in 2022.
And one of the largest prizes in Mega Millions lottery history is up for grabs tonight. This evening's top prize, $940 million. Here are the numbers: 3, 20, 46, 59, 63, and the Mega Ball 13. Earlier this week, lottery officials say they've only had 3 bigger jackpots since the Mega Millions debut in 2002.
Let's go to Julian C right now with a look at your certified most accurate forecast as we head for the weekend. Julian.
Oh, it's going to be a nice weekend for those who want to go outside, see some sun, and get some fresh air, because temperatures themselves are not going to be too bad, and we finally will get some sun. Now, we are looking at clouds just being back and forth throughout much of our skies for tonight, but overall, it's going to be mostly clear throughout the rest of tonight. So if you want to go stare at the moon, which tonight is the first time we get our full moon here in 2023, it is the wolf moon. So it's definitely going to be a sight to see if you want to go stargazing for tonight, but just make sure you're bundling up because it is rather cold. Now, it's going to be cold through all of the upper Midwest for us. The good news is, though, this high pressure system that's set up just near the border between the Dakotas and over for Minnesota, we are looking for it to be rather dry. And on top of it, it's going to stay quiet for the next couple of days as well. So let's go ahead and walk through what we're going to be seeing. For tomorrow, temperatures themselves will be flirting with the freezing points, which around this time of year is actually above average. Average temperatures around this time of year is around 27 degrees. We're going to be a few degrees above that for us here in Madison and throughout much of southern Wisconsin, and plenty of sunshine once we get into the afternoon as well. Now, a look at our weekend forecast, just kind of giving a little brief overview. Tomorrow, we're looking around 31 degrees. It's going to be mostly sunny and seasonable, but for Sunday, a little milder. We're looking at partly sunny skies. A bit more cloud cover is going to be back and forth throughout our Sunday. And on top of it, we will be into the middle 30s. Let's go ahead and walk through our Saturday morning. Now, you can see those clouds going back and forth throughout the rest of tonight for us here in Madison. But it starts to clear up a lot more once we get into the noon hour. And for much of southern Wisconsin itself as well. As temperatures start to rise, we'll be into the upper 20s around noon. And then as we get into the rest of the evening hours and afternoon, temperatures will be into the lower 30s for a few hours, but then going into around 5 o'clock, we're going to be back to those middle 20s. Walking into our Saturday nights, we're still looking for cold temperatures, but cloud cover again is starting to build up. And that's going to be, once again, back and forth throughout much of our Sunday afternoon and even for our Sunday morning as well. But we will start to see more sunshine than we have over the last few days because it has just been flat out cloudy and we've had some light snow and flurries. But we're not looking at any of that for this weekend, though the cloud cover will be sticking around. It's going to be colder for tonight, milder this weekend, and on top of it, the mild conditions will carry into next week as well, especially once we get into midweek. We're looking at temperatures to really be rising up. But our first warn for you guys is that enjoy what we're having for this weekend and for the next few days, because we are tracking a system that could be our next weather maker, bringing in rain and potentially even some mixing of some snow as well as we get into our Thursday and our Friday of next week. But our temperatures themselves for the upper Midwest are forecasted to be well above average for the next few days, especially heading into next week between January 12th and the 16th as well. Now, wrapping things up for our 10-day forecast, again, enjoy the quiet and the above average temperatures while we have it. Though we'll stay above average heading into next week, we are looking for a bit more wet weather and potentially even some more snow, mainly some light snow, heading in from our Thursday going into our Friday of next week.
And coming up in sports, it was a top 10 showdown in the Swamp tonight. How Mineral Point rallied to beat Cuba City for the 4th straight time. That's next on News 3 Now.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Do you have an idea for an invention, but you don't know what to do next? Call InventHelp. They've been helping inventors for 35 years. InventHelp has helped over 10,000 inventors get patents. You can meet with an InventHelp representative who will keep your idea confidential and explain their invention process step by step. And InventHelp's databank includes over 9,000 companies who have agreed to review new ideas. Take action and get the help you need from InventHelp.
800-550-5543.
Only a wise and lucky few understand the amazing benefits of real sauna bathing. Leisure Concepts has Finnish and infrared saunas that set up in a flash and will get you through winter happy and healthy. Now watch closely to see my favorite part of sauna bathing. Get to Leisure Concepts on the Beltline at the Park Street exit.
To count down the days, but my ski trip to Cascade Mountain with my cousin each year, so much fun. We used to pretend like we were flying. Now, we really do. My dad and my uncle like that we still ski free. But Noah and I, we just have fun. See you there.
Family-owned Brothers Maine knows choosing appliances for a remodel or new build can be exciting and overwhelming. Our experienced staff has experienced it all as we've guided thousands of area families through appliance selection. Brothers Maine has a larger inventory and low-price deals that consistently beat competitors, including Big Box. You heard me, Big Box can't beat our prices. From sales to install, Brothers Maine does it all. Feel great about your purchases and feel like family at Brothers Maine.
With reliable COVID-19 results in just 15 minutes, everyone is making room for Binax Now in their medicine cabinet.
Do we still need these pregnancy tests?
Yeah, no. Out with the old, in with the #1 COVID-19 self-test in the U.S. With the same technology doctors use to test for COVID-19. Binax Now.
Rub these little weenies, not with my low E.
Millions are suffering from low energy, commonly called low E.
Conga line around the family room? Not with my low E.
I can't even blow up this celebratory balloon. Well, I live this way.
Planet Fitness replaces low E with Big E, which keeps you energized and glowing all day. Simply join through the free PF app. $1 down, $10 a month, cancel anytime. Deal ends January 12th.
Look at my wieners now.
Tomorrow, the reigning Big Ten champs and current leaders of the conference hit the road to face a struggling Illini team. Illinois is 0-3 in league play and are coming off a 13-point loss to Northwestern. But the game is in Champaign, a place where Wisconsin hasn't won since 2019, and no Badger on the roster has beaten the Illini. That's something they hope to change on Saturday.
I don't think we've beat Illinois since I've been here yet. We struggled at their place a little bit, but we're up for the challenge. Next game's the most important game, so we're definitely looking forward to it, and it's going to be a test for sure.
It should be a crazy game. We're coming in there ranked, and they've been struggling a little bit, so they're going to be playing hard, and they're going to want to knock us off. So it should be a really good game in a fun environment.
High school girls hoops, Sun Prairie West hosting La Follette in a Big 8 battle. Lancers have one of the best bucket getters in the state, and Elena West was at it again. She takes it to the cup for two. La Follette jumped out to an early lead, but Sun Prairie West always had an answer. The quick ball movement finds Marie Outlay, and she banks it home to cut into that lead. And then later in the half, it's Outlay again, this time dishing it to Micaiah Hawk for three the old-fashioned way. Wolves go on to win 57-40. Big boys matchup in the Swall. Fourth-ranked Mineral Point taking on number 8 Cuba City. All Cubans early. Max Lucy dials one up from deep, and the triple makes it a 6-point Cuba City lead. But then came the Eli Lindsay show. Some bully ball down low for a tough two. And that gets the Pointers back into the game. And then on the next possession, if it ain't broke, don't feed it, right? They'd feed them again. Mineral Point makes it 4 straight over their rival with a 67-58 win. This weekend will mark the first time since November 20th that the Wisconsin women's hockey team will play in LeBon when they host Minnesota Duluth. That's almost 50 days in between home games. And when it comes to playing on their home ice, the Badgers simply don't lose. This season, they're 7-0-1. And when asked about being back home on Saturday and Sunday in front of their fans, Nicole Lamantia couldn't help but smile.
I'm really excited. You know, going into my last half of the season of my career, I think it's really bittersweet. Home games are getting to those times where they're bittersweet. So really happy to be home, happy to have my family to come up, and you know, just really excited to be in the LeBon. You know, our fans mean a lot to us.
Wisconsin men's hockey in action tonight, hosting Notre Dame. Scoreless after the first play, Badgers on the power play, and Tyson Jugnoth takes advantage. He sends a snipe into the back of the net. Bucky scored 2 in the second period, and Jared Moe stopped 27 shots in their 2-0 shutout win over Notre Dame. Big Ten opener for the Badgers. Wisconsin taking on number 1 Penn State. Luke Fickell, a man of his word, taking in a duel with Braylon Allen. They saw a pretty good first match. Eric Barnett gets back points there en route to a 15-0 Tech Fall win. Now, Penn State would win the next 2. Enter Austin Gomez, and the second-ranked 149-pounder takes him down right into your living room. Gomez would win by decision, but Wisconsin falls 28-11. We're back after this.
Welcome to Dwellings.
Shop our fabulous showroom, Hard Rock Road, Fitchburg.
The Home Expo is coming this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Meet the top builders, remodelers, and home improvement experts at the Monona Terrace Convention Center this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday only.
7-day-old tuna casserole.
How'd you know that?
Even my nose is strong. You need Hefty Ultra Strong. It has Arm & Hammer, continuous odor control. Hefty, Hefty, Hefty. Oh, and Toby needs a bath. Stay one step ahead of Stinky.
New year, new you. Join Anytime Fitness and get 30 days free. Get more out of your membership than just machines. Because here, you can lift your weights and lift your mood. Now through January 31st, get 30 days free at Anytime Fitness. Hurry in now.
Non-attorney spokesperson. This is a paid advertisement for legal services sponsored by Nightline Legal. Cases assigned on a random basis to participating law firms.
If you or a loved one were stationed at Marine Corps Base Camp Lejeune between 1953 and 1987 and were later diagnosed with cancer, Parkinson's disease, or other serious health effects, call right now. You may be entitled to financial compensation. Call right now to find out if you qualify.
Call 1-800-336-0524. 1-800-336-0524.
Experience, knowledge,
results. That's what really matters when you need help after a serious truck accident. You'll need a lawyer experienced in fighting and winning for people just like you. Gruber Law Offices has the resources, strong track record of success, and a team of experienced lawyers to take care of your needs. We've successfully helped people injured in big truck accidents for more than 35 years. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Introducing Sass, Sauce and Shells, a bold new restaurant on Madison's Capitol Square, combining the best of barbecue and shelled seafood by Chef Joe Perkins. Add a little sass to your lunch or dinner plans today. Open 7 days a week.
Migraine hits hard, so you hit back with Ubrelvy. You put it all on the line. 1 dose of Ubrelvy quickly stops migraine in its tracks within 2 hours.
Do not take with strong CYP3A4 inhibitors. Most common side effects were nausea and tiredness.
Ask about Ubrelvy, the anytime, anywhere migraine medicine.
Reynolds Wrap makes this whole cooking and cleanup thing so easy. Speeds up this so I can get to them.
Easy Prep, Cook and Clean with Reynolds Wrap.
Channel 3000 Plus. Watch from your streaming media player or mobile device.
Welcome to Dwellings.
Shop our fabulous showroom, Hard Rock Road, Fitchburg.
This portion of News 3 Now sponsored by RG Heating and Air Conditioning.
You're watching News 3 Now at 10.
Finally tonight, weeks after Hawaii's Mauna Loa erupted for the first time in decades, neighboring volcano Kilauea is showing activity again after a brief pause. The video here shows lava bubbling from the volcano once again, starting last night. Officials say the eruption is currently confined to a large crater and poses no hazard to communities.
And Julian's back with a final check of our forecast.
Well, the good news is we're going to have plenty of sunshine, but the clouds are still going to be around as well. So we just got to take our losses and our wins when we can get them. But the good news is temperatures will be well above average throughout the next week. We're going to be seeing temperatures even skyrocketing going into our Monday and Tuesday. And heading into next weekend, well, we're looking potentially at some 40s as well. Our next weather maker is best going to be on Thursday and Friday, something we're going to be watching for in your first warm weather team over the next few days.
All right, Julian, thank you very much. Thanks for joining us, folks, for News 3 Now at 10.
And do something good and have a great weekend.